to break quickly. Henry had just stayed back. Henry finds Pires, who just lost his footing. It looked there as though Thierry Henry was going to shoot on the Villa goal. Unselfishly looks for Pires. Cesc Fabregas has obviously picked up an injury early on in this match. He is withdrawn. High ball here for Aston Villa, and Phillips has just put it over. The long kick forward from Sorensen, touched on by Moore, and Phillips was in behind the Arsenal defenders. Good opportunity for the visitors. Now a chance at the other end, maybe. Henry is through. Sorensen makes half a block. Henry, and away off the line. And against the bar, and definitely in this time. And Adebayo will claim it. Arsenal make the breakthrough with 18 minutes on the clock. Having survived a good chance at the other end, the ball immediately goes down into the Villa penalty area. Sorensen out to deny Henry. Cleared away off the line by Hughes, but he could do nothing about the rebound from Adebayo. Forward towards Henry. Flag has stayed down. Over Sorensen. 2-0. Goal number 20 in the Premiership. 26 in total now for Thierry Henry. David O'Leary might be asking one or two questions of the assistant on this near side, Guy Beale, as to whether he should have raised his flag against Thierry Henry there. Took it down wonderfully, and what a finish. A happy return so far to Highbury for David O'Leary. Under pressure from the Villa faithful. It's a free kick. No. Referee's played advantage. Henry through to Eboué. So close to 3-0. There would surely have been no way back for Aston Villa had they conceded there. Second half underway. Arsenal fans expecting their side to continue in the dominating fashion that they ended the first period. Villa supporters hoping that their team could find a way back into this game. Their performance is going to have to improve considerably. Diaby on as an early substitute for Fabregas. On by De La Cruz. Now gets his first touch. Long ball forward. Adebayo with the touch back to Henry! Perfection! Less than a minute into the second half. Thierry Henry, second of the match, and it has surely guaranteed Arsenal all 3 points from this encounter. The long ball forward from Eboué. Adebayo with a lovely touch back. And it's a fantastic finish from Henry. The challenge for Arsene Wenger's side was to continue the form that they showed against Juventus in midweek, and so far they have done exactly that. The bounce has taken it over Eboué's head. 2-on-1 here. It's Luke Moore. Is it a goal for Villa? Aston Villa's best chance of the match. Just under 27 minutes remaining, and Arsenal withdraw Thierry Henry. Henry is in superb form at the moment. Juventus beware in midweek. Diaby. Pires. Oh, lovely ball to Van Persie, round the goalkeeper. Van Persie needs to pull the ball back. Sorensen tries to get there, can't do so. And Robin Van Persie, from a narrow angle, makes makes it 4-0. Arsenal have been threatening to score a fourth for most of the second half. Looked as though Van Persie was going to pull the ball back then for a teammate. They were queuing up in the middle. Arsenal easily able to tidy up. Pires. Adebayo up against Hughes. He's got Diaby in the middle. Diaby is onside. It's 5. Diaby gets his first goal for Arsenal following his move from Auxerre in January. They have been so much in command of this match. Villa have been given a footballing lesson at Highbury. What now for David O'Leary?
What we've got to focus on is try and win these 2 hard games next. Get to the end of the season the best we can and see then what we're going to do with this football club for the future, because I don't like where we are. The fans are frustrated and I share their frustration with it. I've never been here as a player or as a manager, and I know where I want to put this club and where it should be.
One downside, the injury to Cesc Fabregas. What are his chances for midweek, do you think?
Well, at the moment it looks to me 50-50. We lost Eboué as well in the right back position, and that is very difficult for us at the moment. And he's in the 50-50 situation as well. So let's hope both will be fit. We have 4 days, that can quite help a little bit.
He's going to have a scan tomorrow, see how that goes. That was a masterclass from Arsenal today, wasn't it?
Oh, outstanding. They have the ability to beat teams like Villa at home almost at will. And Arsene Wenger talks about the younger players and having to learn. And you cast your mind back to a couple of weeks with Adebayo when he was playing for Arsenal up front against Charlton. Mr. Henry wasn't particularly happy with this. He never really got his head up, never saw Thierry and vented his frustration. And today, what a fantastic touch back that is from Adebayo. And he's not bad, this fella is. He's got a bit of a chance. Let's see, he plays a few games. Brilliant. And then, I mean, it's just you just sit sometimes. And they are the best team in this country when they're all playing and playing well.
Van perfect, do you think you could say about him?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Where all eyes were on Patrick Vieira's return to Highbury.
I believe that this guy was a role model for English football for years as a midfielder. Everybody was looking every year in every club for Patrick Vieira, you know.
When you spend 9 years anywhere, or you win so much and you did so well, because I think in the last 9 years we maybe were the best history of Arsenal Football Club, and I was part of it.
It was his decision, and I didn't close the door, because in the end he had an opportunity to sign for 5 years somewhere at the age of 29, but I could not guarantee him. He was 99% gone the year before. To Real Madrid, and in the end he decided to stay. So I accepted in my mind that at some stage he will go.
Since I signed for Juventus, the focus was there. It was Arsenal page was over.
A page that's more like a chapter. 7 trophies won in those 9 magical years in North London. The Gunners fans will give him a hero's welcome.
It will affect him because he's a sensitive boy, of course, and an emotional one, and that kind of warmth he got at Highbury for 9 years, we get nowhere else, you know, and certainly it will be fond memories for him, and I'm sure that our fans will be grateful to what he has brought and given to the club.
I think I've got enough experience to deal with that. I know how to prepare myself, I know what to expect. But my only focus is about the game.
When the game starts, it will be different. He will be an animal, and he will have, of course, highly determined players against him.
Come on, Arsenal!
It's a massive challenge because we play against a team who is top of their league as well and is doing well, but I believe we can beat them.
Yeah, our confidence is really high. We really believe that we're strong enough to win the game. but we know it's not going to be an easy game. That's a quarter-final. Every teams in the quarter-final are a really good side. But I really believe that we are strong enough to go to the final, but we just have to show that we are better on the pitch.
Vieira says sentimentality doesn't suit hard men, but he'd have needed a heart of stone not to feel some emotion. The battle raged early in midfield. No time on the ball. The tension was released in the tackle. Arsenal won the right to play and then began running Juve ragged. Cesc Fabregas, still 18, as precocious a talent as any player in Europe. Thierry Henry tried a trademark free kick. No joy. But 5 minutes from half-time, the breakthrough. And what an irony that it was Vieira who lost possession. Robert Pires fed Henry, who weighted the pass to perfection for Fabregas. Only his second ever European goal, and no more than the Gunners deserved after dominating the runaway Serie A leaders. Slip, but the angle was just too acute. The second half was identical to the first. Arsenal almost embarrassingly in the ascendancy. Juve beaten just once domestically all season, but they hadn't had opponents running at them with this kind of intensity. Only Buffon's agility denied Henry. He was beaten a few minutes later, though, selfishly set up his skipper. A goal against a club who didn't rate him and who sold him to Arsenal after just 7 months in Turin. There was worse to come for the Italians. A tiring Vieira roughed up Reyes. He's now suspended for the return game. And so are 2 of his teammates. Mauro Camoranesi had to walk for a ludicrous lunge at Van Persie. His reaction just plain bizarre. And Henry, 2-0 Arsenal, and though Fabio Capello's will take some convincing.
And now, you know, we have a difficult game ahead over there. You know, it's going to be pretty difficult. I know how difficult they can make it. But we have to be tough.
What is very good to see is that this team is enjoying the game. They play, and there's a great togetherness in the team.
I think everyone played 100%. We are getting better and better. We still can improve. I think we've done a great performance, every single player. And now it's just half time of the game, and we will see what happened there.
And Emmanuel Eboué are likely to start for Arsenal against Juventus. Fabregas has responded well to treatment on a foot injury, while Eboué is rated as 80% to start after overcoming his groin problem. Arsenal have arrived in Turin ahead of the game, and Arsene Wenger is confident that Fabregas can inspire his side to victory over the Italians.
Fabregas is 100%. Fulfilled this session this morning 100%, and Eboué will have a late test tomorrow. He needs to play well again. On one hand, it doesn't mean that you had a great game, that you have not a great game, but he will try to, and he is of course a guy who's not intimidated by big games. He has shown that, and he has the talent, so it's good ingredients there. But I'm confident that Cesc, like any other player in the first game, benefited a lot from the whole team play, and so our focus will be more than on Cesc to have the whole team play again with the same determined attitude and with the same spirit. Then on, of course, individually the player become all good. Can be replaced in one game because the influence, you feel more the influence of a big player over 3, 4, 10 games, but over one game, especially a cup game, sometimes you can compensate that, you know, and therefore, especially when you play against a big club as well, you know, they have 20 players of very, very good level.
Arsenal will play Villarreal for a place in the final of the Champions League. Arsenal reached the last 4 after a goalless draw with Juventus in Turin.
Set about their very own Italian job in Turin, and Thierry Henry wizardry. Then, with a quarter of an hour to go, the Juve midfielder got himself sent off, committing a second bookable offence for a pointless challenge on Eboué. with their numerical. That was the closest either side got to scoring. 0-0, the final score. Semi-finals, Italian, job done. Phil Edwards, Sky Sports.
Well, mentally, we knew we had to be strong, you know. Once again, we have shown everyone that defensively, even if there are some players that they are young and they are in not their position, I think that they've played fantastic once again, and they deserve all the credit in the world, because it's not easy to play long balls against a team like Juventus in the Alpi, and they've shown great character, and I think they deserve a 10 today.
Is it a measure of how far you come that you're disappointed you didn't actually win the game?
Yeah, we've had a lot of chances, I think. I don't know, if you start counting maybe 6, 7, I'm sure, clearly chances, but of course they had their chances as well, and we have known how to play them, and I think we deserve the qualification, of course.
You mentioned the young players, of course you're very much one of them. How much do you think that makes a kind of group with camaraderie? There's so many young players together here, almost fearless.
Yeah, of course it's difficult for us, you know, when you start playing all together in a team in the same year all together, and you don't expect to play so many games with 6, 7 under 21 players in a quarter-final of Champions League against Juventus, against Real Madrid. It's not easy, and I think we are showing great attitude, great character, and I don't know what to say. I think it's excellent.
Now, you should know Villarreal better than anybody. What can you tell us, and how much do you believe that they are beatable?
Well, I think everyone is beatable. You know, they have to think the same thing about us if they want to beat us. But we will try to go with the same attitude, trying to play the ball on the ground. That's what we like, and we will see what happens, you know, but at the beginning it will be a difficult game. They play in a small stadium, but of course we have to be focused, you know, first in Sunday, Man United. Will be a very tough game, and now we have to enjoy it and see for the next game.
If you've beaten Madrid and you've beaten Juventus, do you fear nobody?
Well, as I said before, we can beat anyone if we keep playing the same way we are doing now, and I don't know, we are really happy with the way we are playing, and we are not scared. No, we are not scared about anything. We just want to keep going and keep winning things.
Well done, sir.
Progress, and their form has been outstanding in the last few weeks.
Right, that's Clive. He's a big fan, so too Gabriel Clark, but he has found some people who aren't quite so impressed.
Turin was already special to Arsenal. Last night, a new squad embraced the challenge of making more history.
This team just demands one thing: give us a chance to show how good we are. And they will do that again against Juventus.
Arsene Wenger has never doubted his new generation of players would excel in the rarefied air of the Champions League. There's just one problem, say the critics, and they're not all Tottenham fans. Not one of the starting 11 comes from the same country as the club. An Italian job without an Englishman? What would Michael Caine say?
I think we should have some more backbone. Englishmen as the backbone of the team.
If you have no English players in an English team, it's basically not an English team.
I always felt that it was a regressive attitude to speak about where you come from.
Why should it matter what the passport is? I'm not interested in what England does. I'm interested in Arsenal Football Club.
We are in a job where you want to say we are the best, and the best has to be respected just through the quality, not through where you come from.
Inflated prices make Englishmen even more of a risk. The multinational back four, the best in the Champions League that had to stand firm against Juve, costs less than the $4 million Tottenham paid for Michael Dawson.
So Arsenal win the European Cup with 11 foreigners. Don't care.
Some English people who don't represent very well the English values. I've seen a few of them, you know.
As players?
As players.
Yes.
As players, on and off the pitch.
Look at Henry when he plays. Bergkamp, come on.
Bergkamp's been at this club
10 years.
Developing players for that national team, isn't that a responsibility?
If I can combine both, I will be very happy, but it's not my responsibility now.
Arsene Wenger doesn't agree with you.
He's a foreigner.
Pound for pound, Wenger's best British signing, Sol Campbell, was back on the bench alongside the young, gifted and English Theo Walcott. So far, so vindicated. So outplayed last week, Juventus tried to force the pace. Zambrotta's sighter matched anything they managed in the first leg, only for Arsenal to settle into their stylish pass and move. Fabregas floated. Henry threatened the sting. The Wenger boys were under orders to express themselves, so Jose Reyes played Matador, teasing the tie away, before getting booked for time wasting, the manager's only concern. Juve were the ones worked up, all bark and no bite. Fabio Capello looked a phantom of his former self. This was black and white football from the dinosaur age. Hit and hope towards the big man. Go. The invention belonged to Arsenal. Fabregas should have won the match in Wenger's perfect world. But the game was up when Pavel Nedved, outplayed by a new star called Eboué, was sent off for 2 nasty fouls on the fullback. An 8th clean sheet running, a Champions League record, and that first semi-final. Under Arsene's theory of evolution, players not passports, young English talent playing at the top club level may become less and less likely. But foreign 11 or not, nothing diluted the sweet taste of the celebrations in Turin. Is this a triumph for English football?
Yes, because it's the Premiership and all the English clubs benefit from the points we get.
We love the club, yeah, and so we want to go further.
We have a confidence, and I really deeply believe it will be 50-50.
Arsene Wenger not really having to defend his side, is he? They're not, especially when they play like that.
Not at all, no. I think you can understand his thinking, the quality that he's invested in the young players. They've probably actually achieved more quicker than he thought to take Arsenal into the semi-final, which has never been done. And we know how strong Arsenal have been over the years and how they've chased this competition and tried to progress and win it. This is the closest they've gone so far.
And as you say, in terms of Arsenal being accused of being un-English, they're not the only ones in the competition a bit like that. Take Villarreal, for example.
Well, their semi-final opponents, Villarreal, they have sent them through.
Well, let's talk about one of the other South Americans as well, because we had to pick out one player who Arsenal have got to watch out for in that semi-final. You'd say it's Juan Riquelme, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Riquelme is a real talent. There's no doubt about that. And what a fantastic matchup. But he really has exquisite skills, and you wonder who comes out on top in the semi-final encounters. May well be an indicator as to who's going to win those semi-finals. And yeah, Cesc Fabregas against Riquelme. What a mouth-watering prospect that's going to be.
It really is, isn't it? And it brings me already onto the odds now as well, because it's interesting. For the first time, you would say that Arsenal favourites for this one. How's that going to play for them or against them, do you think?
I think when you get to this stage of the competition, you know how difficult it is to get that far, and you're really not too worried about whether you're considered favourites to go through to the final or not. They know they have 2 very difficult games to come.
So I think to win 9-4 in terms of some of the other odds. Let's take a look at those as well.
They've shortened dramatically, Jonathan.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long ago, before the Real Madrid game, that they were something like 19-1 Arsenal to win it. So they're down to 9-4 now, and rightly so, having beaten Real Madrid, having beaten Juve.
And in terms of sort of one foolish one there, 1,000-1, that's never going to happen. Oh, is it?
No, it's not. It won't happen like it did, I can assure you of that. And you know how good I am at judging these things.
Defender Kolo Touré.
His attitude is fantastic. He's an intelligent boy as well. Therefore, I feel every year he will be better.
What a great week for you. I mean, what's the response been back here to your progress in the Champions League?
Yeah, I think that we are doing very well in the Champions League now, and I think that in the couple past years it was really hard for us to play like we are doing now, and we are in the semi-final now, and we try to go as far as we can.
It's been a fascinating campaign. Have you been surprised how well you've performed in this competition?
Yeah, I think that we got so many young players, you know, and that's their first time to play the Champions League. And I think they are doing fantastically, and I think I'm really happy for that.
How is this season going for you personally, Kolo? Because from the outside looking in, you appear to be flourishing.
Yeah, I think I'm doing not so bad, because I think the team doing very well as well. We just work as a team, you know, and I think it's not only me. I think that I'm quite happy about what I'm doing for the moment, but I think collectively we work as a team, and we defend, we attack together, and we try to help each other, and the young players listen to the old players, and I think that helps us to be where we are now.
How does it feel then to be one of the old players that the youngsters are listening to these days?
Yeah, I think I feel I'm 25, and I try to talk to them and to lead them like I can, you know. But I think we just they listen to the player like Thierry, to the player like Jens Lehmann, you know, because they are mature players and used to play in the big competition all the time, and we all listen to them, and we try to do our best.
The youngsters around you, I mean, are you amazed, like some people are, how well they've responded to the challenge of being thrown into the Arsenal first team?
Definitely, I think they are doing so well. You know, when you see a player like Manuel Boué and Philippe Sanders and Flamini, you know, and I think they are doing fantastically, and assess Fabregas as well. And I think that's the team now. We just work together, and the young players listen to the old players. Now we can say that yes, we are doing very well, but a few months ago it was in struggle. It was really difficult, but the best thing is we are improving, and that's the most important. That shows that the future in Arsenal is great.
We're enjoying you playing at the moment, the team and you individually. I've heard a lot of people say that you're right up there with Europe's best at the moment. How does that make you feel when you hear that kind of compliment?
I think the team play great football, and for me that's the most important, you know, because I don't care about what I'm doing, you know, but if I play well and the team lost, I think I will be really sad, and we are winning, and I think I'm so happy.
This weekend, the little matter of Manchester United. It may not be the title decider of old, but January's bruising goalless draw showed it's still a fixture for the faint-hearted to avoid.
You know that Arsenal Monday is a really big game for the fans. That means a lot of things for the fans, and we know that we need to do something special, you know, for our fans, and we try to do it.
Does Arsenal Man United mean as much this year as any time?
Definitely, for me as well. For me, definitely, and for my team, definitely, I think so.
Paul, Kolo Touré looks like a totally different player since he's come back from the African Cup of Nations, and at 25 he's now one of the senior players in the squad.
Oh, I think he's been outstanding. I think he's been one of their best players this season, especially with the defence he's playing with. You know, you talk about the other three players, they probably wouldn't be in the team if, you know, if Cole, Lauren and Campbell were all fit. So he's done brilliant, and he's held them together, and, you know, with his pace, you know, he gets a few people out of trouble.
The defence has also been solid because of the form of Jens Lehmann, who's now, I think, pinned that first, the #1 shirt for Germany ahead of Oliver Kahn. Yeah. That's a great achievement for him.
I think the Premiership upsets people at times. Certainly when they come into it, they're not quite sure what to expect of it. And I think he did get his feathers ruffled, about the bird flu and all that again, but he did, by people challenging him. And he used to get upset. He was always pushing people in the box. He seems to have calmed down now. And he's been fantastic this season. He's been a huge plus. I think having Mark Poom there with him, he went from Sunderland down there, and working with him, maybe putting a bit of pressure on him as well. There's a few keepers beneath him, but he's been outstanding. Fantastic performance.
Simon, there's this amazing stat. Arsenal haven't fielded one Englishman in the last 12 games. As the chairman of a club, what do you make of that?
I think it's an indictment of the quality of players that are being produced, perhaps. You know, obviously, you know, who am I to comment on who Arsenal pick and what Wenger picks for his club? But I don't, you know, it's like going on to the England manager debate. Should we have an Englishman managing the England team? I think it's got to be the best players to do the best job and the best manager to do the best job. So I don't really have a view either way on it.
Okay.
This is Jeff. The thing that surprises me about Arsenal is the back four are playing so well. They didn't play well 7 weeks ago, Jeff. They were all over the shop. But I don't know if somebody's been getting a hold of them and working them hard on it, but they've improved with it so much. The back, Eboe has been absolutely unbelievable, and Touré as well. I mean, they're fantastic young players. And the right back is just getting better and better, Jeff. I tell you what, I can't remember seeing a right back playing as well. He's very quick and he's very good defensively. And getting forward, he is so comfortable, and he does it time after time after time. I'm sure that Arsene Wenger didn't realise when he first seen him that this boy could turn out as good as he has done.
Do you not think, though, Frank, where I know the defence has done really well and everything, but those players in front, you're looking at some of them who are attacking players. all there, but the work rate out of them, getting back, filling in.
But they're playing five in midfield,
he plays 4-1-4-1.
Not in the league.
He played
with two
that's
up
what I'm
front in
saying.
the league.
But in those games, 4-1-4-1, it's just been incredible. Well, everybody, all those midfield players, Leb and Perez and everything, they're all chasing back. They're all Freddie Lundberg, they're all getting back in there. And
Caleb, for instance, was never that type of player. He was very skillful, nimble player, passed the ball well. But you can see him in these matches chasing back, and he's really breathing heavily, but he's working back that he didn't do before.
Sometimes it only takes a couple of yards to change your game, and Arsenal now are stopping those crosses that were once coming in threatening. They would stand off, now they're squeezing those situations. And when the crosses are coming in, Lehmann more times than not is coming.
He's been outstanding as well.
He's had a wonderful season. He's been coming and taking that attention, so they've sorted that out. But the experienced players, like Silva, like Lundberg when he plays, like Perez, have suddenly done their job properly, which meant that the other young ones could get on with theirs. And it's just knitting together. I mean, the amount of times Fabregas was going beyond Henry, the first thing he did was dovetail back into his position and say, right, I'm here now. And the wall was there again. It's just such a difference.
They're getting their shape back better,
just takes that couple of yards.
But that's all well and good, but you know, the games against Juventus and Real Madrid are very different to the game they can expect at Old Trafford, aren't they?
But that's why I think he's got the great opportunity. Adebayor's come into it like a young Canu, and he's one who can help Henry. Henry likes to move, we all know he likes to move out to the left and everything. He holds a central position, or he drops off there. He's fantastic at getting hold of the ball, so he can link up the play. That gives them the extra option. Yet I agree, Fabregas, when he plays in there, when it was a 4-1-4-1 in the European games, I've never seen Fabregas getting forward so often. He's racing forward, but when they have the two up front, again, he's got the ability to sit in there and spray the ball around. He's got that guy up front who gives them a good position up front where he can just roll the balls into them, and it gives them so many options. It's just all coming right for
them. Do you know, Fabregas is not a quick player, Jeff. Usually when you get players that's running into the box and finishing up past the forwards, it's usually somebody that's got a bit of pace and all the rest of it. He's not quick at all, and yet he finishes up in so many goal-scoring positions in the last month. Just shows you his timing and everything else is so good.
Matt, what would you do if you were Arsene Wenger about Sol Campbell now? He's fit, needs games. Can they put him back in?
It's a very, very tricky situation. I think obviously from England's point of view and from Campbell's point of view personally, to try and get in the World Cup squad, he's going to need some games. I still think he'll go, and I think Arsene Wenger will try and give him some games, if not just to rest Senderos and Touré a little bit. With the big,
but when would you rest him when they're pushing for fourth still?
I think he'll play him. I think he'll still play him in the league. I think they can afford to play him in the league. I just don't think he'll get in the European side.
He says that during the week that he's definitely going to bring back Campbell, and it'll probably begin to Senderos a rest.
I think he might play him.
It doesn't surprise.
I think he might play him tomorrow.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he might bring him back.
Isn't that a massive gamble when you've got a defence that's done so well?
Yeah, but the problem with it, months ago when things were a little bit dodgy, you'd be going, you know, when you bring him back in and everything. But I think they're doing so well. Everybody, you can just go like that and you can just slot him back in. He's an experienced player.
They were much more open than
just change it. And Abui and Senderos are going to need a rest. Touré has been absolutely fantastic. People talk about other people. I think he has helped those other lads around him. And I think he might just put him in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not so sure about that, Phil. You know, with the prospects of Ruud van Nistelrooy and Louis Saha.
I don't agree with that.
No?
No.
You think they'll hang fire a little while?
Well, I think Arsene's saying the right things, but I don't think it's tricky at all. He doesn't play. Doesn't earn the right to get in the team, in my opinion. And I think I'm sitting on the bench is not a bad problem for Arsene Wenger, because deep down, we've not seen Sol since his nightmare against West Ham. And he thrown back into Manchester United. Now, what's Manchester United going to do? They're going to throw Van Nistelrooy, who Arsenal do not like at all, into the equation. And then suddenly, if he's exposed, Sol is going to get a lot of criticism to come his way if that happens. And I don't think Arsene needs that. It's not broken, so I don't think.
I think he'll bring him in, but maybe not tomorrow, Charlie.
I think he might play him, because I think he'd be looking at those lads. You've got a Champions League semi-final coming up. They've gone somewhere which they've never gone before, and Arsene, his nose and the way things have gone over the last years in the Champions League, now he's got that chance. Yes, I still think they'll finish fourth because they're on a roll, and that's why I think even now, it being such a big game, he can afford to take that chance, because he'll be wanting Senderos and Abui. Abui's had the injury as well, don't forget, and he'll need to make that change.
Tomorrow,
another central defender making the news this week was United's Nemanja Vidic, who said he's played in the Russian league and that was tough, and he's played in the Serbian league and that was tougher. He said, but Premiership is the toughest of the lot. He said, every game is like a boxing match. He said, I'll find an arm holding me down or hands stopping me. Use of the arms or hands is not allowed in the game in Russia. Oh, he's got a point, hasn't he, Matt? You know, you see it, I wouldn't say boxing, more like a wrestling match in penalty boxes every week.
Absolutely, and I think the worst time is when corner kicks are coming in. It's like WrestleMania in the box.
There's not a penalty there.
Yeah, but that's come in, Matt. That's come in. He's saying he's come from Russia and Serbia or whatever, and that's where it's all come from. All this, they don't even look at the ball.
Oh, okay. Blame the Russians and the Serbians for it. Go on.
Hold on. And the people from Poole as well.
Yeah.
And, no, but it is. It happens, Jeff. And you see them all coming in. It's
They don't
never
even watch
happened
the ball. They
before.
look at the ball,
It never
do they?
happened
No.
here.
No.
They don't look at the ball.
But
The
they
ball's
nearly-
on the other side. It's a corner kick from over there. And they're looking at the fella here. They don't even look
Don't
at
you
it.
think
And I
Vidic
hold
would
them.
do that then?
Of course he would.
Don't believe it. By the way, Phil, thanks for mentioning Poole, because I
Oh,
just want to
I was
say...
wondering how you were
I
going
want to say
fit this
thanks
in.
very much to the people from the Poole Tourist Board, who after discussions last week about the delights of Poole and how wonderful it is down there, have sent me the Poole Guide of 2006. There it is, the Poole Guide. And it's got all the tourist attractions.
free weekend.
Amazingly, inside here, I can see, look, what are you doing tomorrow? And there's a lovely picture there. Frank McClintock and family on holiday. Can you see that? Wonderful. So those are the attractions you can see in Poole.
like the Algarve Park.
Fantastic place. It's worth going the extra mile. That's their slogan. OK, let's get some predictions, shall we, on the Manchester United-Arsenal game. Matt, first go.
Too tight to call for me, Jeff. I'm sitting on the fence with a draw.
OK, Frank?
Yeah, I'll go for a draw as well.
Phil?
Manchester United.
Charlie?
Arsenal.